Arsenal, the most emotionally exhausting club in the Premier League. And I should know, I'm an Arsenal fan. Back-to-back title chokes, the biggest club to never win the Champions League, and yet we cling to that one invincible season like it happened yesterday. Right now, Bukayo Saka is our golden boy, but with him injured, we're left with a squad of underwhelming frauds who rely on corner kicks for goals. Still, with 13 league titles and 14 FA Cups, they're the biggest club in London. Not that it helps ease the pain. Aston Villa came out of nowhere to make the Champions League and even managed to beat Bayern Munich. They've got an elite manager, a strong squad, and a striker duo in Ollie Watkins and John Duran who love scoring. But the real star has been Morgan Rogers. This guy has been on fire. And yes, they've actually won the Champions League before, unlike Arsenal. Bournemouth, a tiny South Coast club that's somehow embarrassing the big teams. This season alone, they've beaten Arsenal, Man City, Spurs, and Man United. But let's be real, Bournemouth qualifying for Europe just sounds wrong. Their history, a single championship title in 2015. Their star player, Antoine Semenyo. That's all you need to know. Brentford sold Ivan Toney, and somehow they're still doing fine. Brian Mbeumo and Yoane Wissa have stepped up, but these guys are like a completely different team when they play away. No trophies in their history, and if Mbeumo leaves, they could be in serious trouble next season. Brighton are the kings of smart scouting. They turn random unknowns into stars, sell them for big money, and somehow stay competitive. They even got to the Europa League last season. Right now, João Pedro is their main guy, but despite all the talent they've had, they still haven't won a major trophy. Chelsea, where do we even start? A club that was nothing until a billionaire bought them in 2003, won everything, then got sold to Todd Boehly, who spent £1 billion to make them mid-table. They went from 12th to 6th, so progress? Right now, Cole Palmer is carrying them, and their managers barely last 2 seasons before getting sacked. Crystal Palace have been in the Premier League for over a decade, and they do the exact same thing every year. Finish between 10th and 15th, pick up some big results, and then disappear. They lost Wilfried Zaha, but Eberechi Eze and Jean-Philippe Mateta are keeping them interesting. No trophies, but they did make 2 FA Cup finals, losing both to Manchester United. Everton, just why are they still here? Every season they flirt with relegation, somehow survive, and repeat the cycle. They've got 9 league titles but haven't won a thing since 1995. And with a new £800 million stadium coming, imagine them playing championship football in it. That'd be hilarious. Fulham used to be a yo-yo club, but have actually settled in the Premier League. They're basically Arsenal's reserves, with Leno, Smith-Rowe, and Nelson. Their standout player, Antonee Robinson, one of the league's best fullbacks. No major trophies, but they did make a Europa League final in 2010. Ipswich are the biggest wildcard this season, jumping straight from League One to the Premier League in 2 years. Realistically, they're going right back down, but at least they beat Spurs and Chelsea. Surprisingly, they've won a league title, an FA Cup, and even a European trophy, more than some so-called big clubs. Leicester. They went from winning the most unbelievable Premier League title ever to complete disaster. 2016 was magical with Mahrez, Kanté, and Vardy. Then they won an FA Cup in 2021. Now, they're struggling to stay up. Liverpool fans will tell you they're the biggest club in England, but they've only won 1 Premier League title, the same as Leicester. This season, though, they're top and looking to tie Manchester United's 20 league titles. Klopp left last season, and Salah, Van Dijk, and Trent are all running their contracts down. The glory days might be coming to an end. Manchester City, a team run like a movie villain with 115 charges looming over them. 6 league titles in 7 years, a treble, and a manager who plays football like it's a science experiment. But let's be honest, if they get found guilty, none of it counts. Manchester United, the biggest club in England, currently the biggest joke in England, from winning everything under Ferguson to 13th place with a squad full of frauds. Antony is the worst footballer I've ever seen. Bruno is a whiny captain. Rashford needs to stop partying. And their defense? Maguire and Evans still start. This club is finished. Newcastle were a joke until Saudi money arrived. Now they're back in the Champions League, but they still haven't won a trophy since 1955. Decent squad, great fans, but they need silverware. Also, Alexander Isak, please come to Arsenal. Nottingham Forest were nobodies, then randomly won back-to-back European Cups, and then became nobodies again. They barely survived relegation the past 2 seasons, but are somehow 3rd this year. Makes no sense, but neither did Leicester winning the league, so who knows? Southampton, the worst team in Premier League history. They're on track to break the record for the lowest points ever. They once lost 9-0, twice. Just send them back down already. Spurs. If failure was a football club, it would be Tottenham Hotspur. No league titles since before the moon landing. 1 Carabao Cup in the past 20 years. Harry Kane wasted his entire career here. Their manager plays kamikaze football, and now they're in the bottom half. No star player, just pain. West Ham. They're just kind of there. Won the Conference League, have a few exciting players like Kudus and Paquetá, but get smacked by any good team. They've won 3 FA Cups, but never the league. Wolves had a promising squad a few years ago, then Raul Jimenez got injured, and it all fell apart. Now they're just a mid-table team who might go down soon. Their best player, Matheus Cunha, needs to leave before it's too late. Which team do you like the most? Are there others you think we missed? Drop a comment below and remember to subscribe for more football stories.